excited. You've seen the thumbnail or the title, or maybe you haven't. I'm actually completely random. Curious question. Does anybody watch a video without knowing like the title of the video? Like, do you just hit like I can't imagine doing that. I always like know what the video is that I'm gonna watch. So if you do that, if you just like put this video on and you're surprised by the content, let me know. I'm curious about that. But if you are one of those people, I'll tell you, there's a conversation that I'm having with my baby sister Tori because she finished the Dragon Reborn. She has watched season 1 and 2. You can actually see her reactions to season 2. Here, and we had an interview after season 1, which I completely forgot about. That is also on my channel, so you can see that. And yeah, so obviously spoilers in this video for the end of the Dragon Reborn, and also the first 3 chapters of the Shadow Rising, because she's also gotten that far. So yeah, I love my baby sister. I love the Wheel of Time. So combining those 2 things is wonderful for me. I will just give you a bit of a heads up. I hit record like right when we started talking, so we like just had a regular conversation before we got into the Wheel of Time, and parts of that conversation I thought were interesting and worth sharing, and she said that I could put them online. She actually even says it, I think, in the video, so you'll see that there, but I thought it was worth sharing. It's like about 8 minutes worth, but yeah, and I promise you, we do get into the Wheel of Time, but I just thought it was a conversation that I thought was, like I said, I thought it was worth letting y'all see it. So there you go. But I do promise that we get into the Wheel of Time and we talk about it for a very, very long time. So there you go. So without further ado, like I said, spoilers for Dragon Reborn and like early on in the Shadow Rising. So there you go. Let's begin.
Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy. Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy.
Because that's the thing in Bermuda. It doesn't matter how much you cover your body.
And like you're indoors, you're inside, and you are cold inside. It's almost colder inside because of the Bermuda Stone.
Like, because it's meant to hold it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I had never realized. I never told her that we do these things.
You're like a YouTube star. I get questions, and people like know I call you baby sister. They're like, "So when's your baby sister coming back? Is your baby sister ever gonna be on? When's your baby sister?"
To be honest, I could literally live and die, and nobody in my friend group will probably ever see these.
No, they would never encounter this because your friends aren't nerds like mine.
I literally said that to Elena. I was like, she has a huge nerd fan base. It's like the nerds love her.
That's huge. It's like 6,000. It's not huge. Well, I mean, I think it's cool. First of all, the technology, like this to me is cool. Like the technology is super cool. But also, I'm in pajamas. I have no makeup. I do not have a good light setup.
I had to take a shower. I had to brush my hair.
Yeah, I don't have to do any of that.
And it was white men, and he was complaining about he couldn't get a job because of diversity and inclusion.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And like apparently somebody else got the job because they were trying to get more diversity in their office. And I was like, good. I'm happy to hear. And he has an amazing job. Like he ended up getting another job. I was like, you landed fine though.
Yeah.
Like you landed completely fine. So why are you complaining? Because he was like venting about it because he always vents about it. Because I've heard him vent. I was like, I feel like I need to say this. I feel like I'm not going to let this conversation go on without saying this. I'm happy they did that. Coming from a Black person, being one of the only Black people in my office, I feel isolated and alone. I'm so happy they did that.
Yes.
And you landed completely fine. So I have no tears for you.
Yeah, you're like they're always going to. Like any of these what people like, if it happens, which I'm almost certain it doesn't happen nearly as much as these white people complain it does.
100% agree.
Like it might happen like one out of all of them, maybe like 1 in 10. They're happening.
Freaking out, Jenny.
And it's this total switch from like the critical race thing. They've just changed their argument. Yeah.
I'm so freaking out. And they're like so angry. I'm like, so what do you think has been happening for forever?
Yeah. They don't.
And I literally said to him, I was like, okay, you've been dealing with it for 5 years. So sorry, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo, 5 years, you'll be fine.
Also, you haven't been. Like, you think you've been. You haven't been. I would bet money. Yes. Like, that's just it. Like, let's imagine that you actually didn't get hired by this job because you weren't a diverse and inclusive. You're going to find another job because that person that got hired at that job probably got rejected for a bajillion jobs because they
Yes.
were like,
Amen. And actually, I don't think I've worked with him. He's an old coworker of mine. I don't even
mm,
think he's that good. I think he's not getting the job because he's actually not that good.
that's the thing that's what I mean. Like, I bet you that 9 times out of 10, these people that think that a black person got hired over them or an Asian whatever, because of DEI is what they call
Yeah.
diversity, DI, whatever they call it.
DEI, yeah, you said
Yeah.
diversity, equity, and
Equity and
inclusion.
inclusion. Yeah. I bet 9 times out of 10, the person that was hired was better than them, but they are racist. They're racist going, no, that's a black person. They can't possibly be better than me. Like,
Take your insecurities, shove them up your ass, and grow
yeah,
from them, please.
please.
Like,
That's not how growth works, Tori. Let's have a basic biology conversation.
I am pissed. You can keep this in your video if you like, because I feel like that's prepared.
Yeah.
No, Jenny, I am honestly, the older I get, the more I'm just sick of this. I think I was somebody who's a little bit more, even though I'm a black woman, like, and I think I was a little bit more ignorant to it, or did not feel it until working in this company where I'm like the only, and I see it so blatantly in my eyes. And I'm like, wow.
Most of my white friends, actually all of my white, like anybody who I'm considering a friend right now, they're all pretty woke, using the term in the way that it was originally meant. Like, they ask questions, they want to have fun. Yeah, not the way that, they're whatever using it now.
Or whatever.
Yeah, it's just stupid the way people use it now, but whatever. But the way, like, when I talk about racism is a mind fuck. Like, the reason, like, people get mad that, oh, black people see everything, because you don't know. I don't know if somebody is rejecting me or not hiring me because, like, oh, I had braids, so I had a Rasta style, so they thought maybe I smoked weed. Or, I'm not kidding, I've had people just approach me and ask me for weed in Korea, in Canada, and be like, why? Oh, I have braids, that's why you think, like, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's causing a barrier or if that person's just in a bad mood, or was I not like, it's, yeah, you don't wear braids at your work because of that reason.
I don't wear braids at my work. 100%. I don't wear braids at my work because of that reason. It's insane.
Yeah.
And like, I like braids. I would like to wear braids.
They're convenient.
Yes. I stress out so, and I think they look well kept versus my bushy hair sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, coming with my curly hair, like, which I love, but like, it's just easier to maintain braids.
Yeah.
And I hate when I literally take days off before I go on a trip to get the braids. So I don't have to go to the office with my braids.
Yeah.
Like, instead of doing it the weekend before I go in my spare time, I would do it. I would take a whole day off from work just so I can avoid you guys seeing me in my braids. That's embarrassing. That's terrible.
It's so stupid. It's so frustrating. When you are experiencing racism, you literally don't know when it's coming. And so you spend your life, you're either preparing for it all the time, or it's going to sideswipe you when it hits and knock you on your ass. So you're constantly bracing. And
honestly, Jenny, it's terrible. I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate it. And I just
like,
don't
that's
even
what you're doing. Like, that's what you're doing by not wearing braids. You're bracing for racism by literally limiting, and it's, maybe they would be okay with it. Probably not, based on what you said about them. But maybe they would. Maybe they'd all be like, oh, that we know Tori, we trust her, it's fine. Like, maybe you would slide by because they know you. But you don't know, and so you're living your life bracing for it.
Yes.
And that's
avoiding it, skirting around it. How do I change the situation so it benefits? It doesn't even get to that point. Like, it's terrible. Anyways. It's just getting worse. My feelings I don't think I felt it like this when I was younger. I think with age, anyways.
Yeah. I think you start to be aware of more things.
You encounter more things as well. You feel that you end up in more situations.
You see patterns is the thing. You start to see patterns. That's what it is.
You start to realize that, wait a minute, wait the fuck a minute. It just starts to come and hit you, and you're just like, it sucks. It really does suck. And you also start to realize the world is just not fucking fair. Like, it's just not. And you start to see where it's not fair, and you're like, but wait a minute, like, that's not. And then you see how one thing leads to another, and sometimes it all starts on the person just being black, and I'm just like, fuck, it's just not fair.
Yeah,
And then
it's
I want to punch people who then complain when they have nothing to complain about. Like, fuck, yeah,
mm,
life isn't fair for you, but imagine if you were also Black.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Just imagine.
mm,
Fucking life isn't fair for anybody if
yeah,
you know what it is. But like, imagine if you're also Black. So
yep.
please fuck off.
Yes.
Like,
So please,
just
which if
please.
you would kindly consider fucking off, that I would really appreciate it. Oh my
All
god.
right, well, let's get to the Wheel of Time. Great segue, guys.
Yes, 20 minutes in. You finished book 3. I know you
Yeah,
said like you're gonna need help like remembering things because it's you read this one slower because you're studying
yeah, yeah.
for another one of your exams that I don't understand. Did you
But
listen to
you
that
helped
podcast?
me.
But yeah, it's true. Did you
I
listen to that
haven't,
podcast
but
by
I
the way?
want to. I keep
Okay.
thinking about it, but like normally when I'm listening to anything on my phone, it's the Wheel of Time.
Right. Yeah. Before I'll get into specifics, what are your general thoughts like about the book and comparisons with the show? I know this one is very, very different. So
I barely remember. I was like, what? Was there anything? Maybe like a sprinkle of things,
mm,
but really very few. Like there was an Aield in a cage, but
yeah,
it was a man, not a
yeah,
woman.
yeah.
Um, what else did I remember that was from the show? Not many things from the show that I remember. That was one thing. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
can you?
Avienda. Like the Ayo that was in the cage in the show was a character named Avienda, and
Yes,
Avienda is in book 3. She's
yes,
one of she's the Ayo. So they just took her from one place and sort of put
yeah,
her in a different place. Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
yes. And we did meet more, like the 3 women,
Yes.
I yields in the
Yeah.
show
Bane
and
and
in the
Chiad. Yeah.
yes, we did meet them. God, it was very few things. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I was reading a whole new book. I felt like
Yep.
I felt like there was nothing I could even like say sprinkle things, sprinkled
Yeah.
of little things, but really not. It was like, and that's probably why I had less like premonitions or like
Yeah. You were predictions and
foreshadowing.
stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then also, but I did really like this book. It was like a slow
Mm,
book. It didn't feel
mm,
like there wasn't much anticipation
yeah.
for anything. It was more like things were just happening. And
Right.
yeah, and I liked that. I kind of liked just felt like I was just along for a ride with
Yeah. In
everybody.
the world more than yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did start listening to book 4,
Okay. How are you?
but
That I know the different narrator is going to be hard for you to get just to.
I miss Maureen. When is she gonna
Mhm.
bring out the more books?
Probably not until like because right now what's happened is she released her version. Amazon released her version of book 1 right before season 1 came out, and
Oh,
then books 2 and 3 right before season 2 came out. So I imagine that her book 4 will come out right before
right.
season 3.
When is season
Yeah.
3 coming out?
They, as I the last I heard, they were still filming, but they're finished main filming, like they're doing location filming of certain scenes.
I mean, it's hard. The transition is hard because I started
Yeah,
to get used to certain voices and the
right.
way
And
they
she because
carry.
she's mimicking the actors, like
Yeah,
she'll, yeah,
yeah,
which they're like they did this what 15, 20 years ago. So like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And like it's like at one point the guy's reading for chapters on
yep,
end and the woman's reading for chapters on end. And I'm like, oh God, this is like messing with my brain.
right. And okay, I get that. For me that works really well because when a woman's reading, it's a woman's perspective, and when a man's reading, it's a man's perspective.
I did notice
That's
that.
yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, it is the story of season 2 is almost exclusively the story of book 2.
Yeah.
But
But it's
there,
uh-huh.
there are other elements to it. Like one of the big ones that I noticed was in book 3, Rand is just barely in the book. The book is called The
Yeah,
Dragon Reborn,
yeah,
but he's barely there. Like he's away from his
barely.
friends.
Yeah.
And in season 2, he spends almost no time with his friends. So I think
Yeah.
that was one of the things that they pulled in
Yeah.
was okay, this is part of the story, like that Rand is absent from his friends for a while. Um, Another thing that I think that they improved upon because I mentioned it to you in the last conversation we had like this. I don't like how Robert Jordan writes a lot of the disputes between female characters, they feel juvenile to me, and book 3 is when it starts for
Okay.
me, which especially between Nynaeve and Egwene. But that, like, Nynaeve, Egwene, and Elaine are traveling, and they start sniping at each other. And
yeah, that's true. I did start to see that. Yeah.
yeah, and it, for me, it feels like that's not how
Well,
people
I
are.
agree because in my mind, I was thinking, oh, these sound like little teenage girls. Like,
Right. Yeah, they
but
don't sound like
in the
adult women.
book,
Yeah.
I think of them as like young
Ah,
teenage
yeah,
girls.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think I've forgotten what I think of them in the shows. The shows, I feel
Right.
like they're women.
Yeah.
Whereas in the books, I go back to like, oh, these young little girls, like trotting
Yeah.
around the world. I'm like, okay.
Right. Well, they are, like, Nynaeve is supposed to be 25 or 26, and Egwene in the books is supposed to be 16, but it's weird. So I
Okay.
guess that sort of thing kind of makes sense, but I don't like it. And the show, they have arguments, but their arguments make way more sense in the show. Like, yeah, those are arguments based on facts, not just
Bickering.
like, yeah, just bickering for no reason, which is what I feel like happens a lot. Perrin is the first character I want to ask you about. What are your thoughts about his storyline? Like, there's a lot of him fighting. Like, he doesn't want to
be
be.
like the wolf. Well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
been, yeah. I like Perrin. I do feel sorry for him. I feel like he's fighting against a nature that nobody else understands, and
yeah,
he's trying to figure it out. He's terrified to go to sleep.
yeah.
And I
That was
feel
brutal.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's brutal. Like, and like I know Matt had it pretty tough in the last book, but I think like Matt's having a pretty great time in the third book with his and so like poor Rand and Perrin are suffering, and Matt's just out here living a great
like luck, just being lucky.
I don't know where it's gonna end up, but like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just like poor Perrin and Rand. Like, well, we didn't see much of Rand, but like Perrin is just like suffering, trying to like avoid his nature, but like nobody's here to help him and guide him and tell him anything about it.
Yeah.
But then he's like crushing on this woman, this that I thought was finally some like
Yeah. Little something. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, poor Perrin. But
yeah.
then he reminds us like what Min said about like if you see a beautiful woman, go the other way, run.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which all men
Now,
should take advice.
yes, but that wasn't one of Min's viewings. That was just Min warning him. Yeah, it's because he asked her if it was a viewing, and she was just like, "Just listen to me," or whatever. So he's remembering it, thinking it's a viewing, but it wasn't. She was warning him about Lanfear. She was telling him, because
Oh, that
remember
makes me happy. I was like, I hope this girl, she seems really like good for him in a way.
Yeah,
I hope she's not bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that's one of those things that, like, it's one of the things that when I do a reread, I find it really sweet because he doesn't think of her as super beautiful the first time he sees her.
Well, that was the only thing that I was thinking maybe it's somebody else. That was the
Yeah,
only thing because I was like, well, he didn't think she was super beautiful at first. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember thinking that. Yeah.
yeah. It's just like really romantic to me how, like, the more he gets to know her, suddenly he's like, wait, Min said the most beautiful girl in the world, and like suddenly
Yeah.
she's the most yeah, yeah.
I wonder how they're gonna spin that relationship into the show, given that they put him, his wife. Like how are you gonna spin this mourning husband now fawning over this other? Like, I'm sure it's possible. I'm sure they'll figure out a way, but like I am curious how they're gonna spin that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to do literally basing this on nothing. I have no evidence of this, but they did a time jump between season 1 and season 2 of, I think, 6 months. Like they talked about that. Like, they mentioned it a couple of times. They've been in the tower for 6 months and you haven't channeled whatever. I think they'll do that again so that like it'll have been some time. So it won't be like, it's been like 3 months since his wife died.
Yeah.
It's been at least 6 months. So maybe next season it'll also be some time. But yeah. I know that I know she's been cast. At least I think she's been cast. But one of the funnier things I saw was Marcus, the character who plays Perrin, was at a convention, and someone in the audience who I actually know from the fandom asked him about that character from the books, but like said it in a really roundabout way. And it was very clear that Marcus hadn't read that far in the book, so he didn't know. He was like, he answered in a really general way, and one of the writers from the show had to step in and be like, I know what character you're talking about. She's coming later. Don't worry. Never mind. Like,
That is.
Marcus had
I
no
wonder
idea.
how the actors like fall into their character without reading the books.
Well,
I
some
do
of them,
wonder.
yeah. The actor playing Rand has read all of the books and
Okay.
apparently has started to read them again. So
Oh,
he's read all of
wow.
them. And then I saw an interview with Zoe where she said she read up to a certain point and then felt like she had to stop because she didn't want to know more than her character did. Like,
Okay.
because
Oh, interesting.
especially like one of the things you're starting to see right now in Nynaeve's character is like her block is really, really frustrating for her. Like it's
Yeah.
really, really frustrating. And so I think that was something Zoe was like, I don't want to know if she ever breaks this because
She wants to see the frustration, and she
yeah, she wants to stay in the frustration because like if she breaks it, then I'll be like thinking about that. And if she never breaks it, then I'll just go into a hopelessness. So
yeah,
I
that's a
need
very
to, yeah,
yeah,
I need to have that whatever feeling she has, that kind of thing. She didn't
yeah,
say that specifically, but what she said was, I don't want to know more than what she knows, and that was
yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
thought I had. So I was gonna ask what you thought about Fail.
Which one's that again?
Fail's the girl, that
Yeah,
next
yeah,
parent.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, she's feisty. I like her. She's
yeah,
feisty.
yeah,
Yeah, she's like, I'm going head first.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm not fearful until towards a bit of the end. She's like, come on, man, let's run. But
yeah, yeah,
other than that, she's like, he kept trying to get rid of her, and
yeah.
she was like, no, I'm not going. I'm here for the story. Like, I'm
Yes,
here. A bit
I'm
like
gonna.
Lily.
What? Oh, she has one of my like one of the funniest moments in the books to me. I don't know if it was funny to you, but it cracks me up every time because she's a hunter for the horn, and at
Yeah.
some point, Perrin just drops that the horn's been found, and she's like, "It's been found already!" Like she's so disappointed. Like, oh, fuck! Like my whole purpose in life. Damn it!
That's like,
So,
snatch it from me. I
but
thought it
sorry,
was so cute when like Moraine kept saying like, "Parents, she probably just likes you."
yes,
Like, sorry, like there's not anything magical over here. She probably just likes you.
he's like, "Could you be a dark friend?" It's like, you are a good-looking man, Perrin. Like she's looking
And
at you because
Moraine's
you're
like,
handsome.
just like, come on, guy, keep up. I have other
Yes.
things to stress about.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
cute. That was really cute.
yeah, that was
So,
cute.
you were gonna say about Tom.
I like Tom and Matt together. I thought that was a
Mhm.
cute duo. They were funny, and Tom's like, because Tom is like they're both kind of schemers in a way. Like the demon is
Mm.
kind of like money hungry in his own way, and like
Yeah, yeah.
that's why when he like sacrificed himself for the guys, that was quite like a big deal. Because like somebody who's you would think is self-centered or selfish,
Mm.
and like to sacrifice themselves is like very sweet. And Matt kind of has that as well. But
Yeah.
Matt is also quick to sacrifice himself or like
Yep.
put himself into the line of danger to
Mhm.
like get his friends. And like Tom is like, no. And like, I don't know. I like it. I like the two of them together. I just like Tom. I don't know why. He's
I mean,
like,
Tom is very like he's a fan favorite. He's very, very likable. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
do like him. I can't wait to see his storyline play out.
One of the things I find interesting watching people who watch the show first go into it is like you have a sympathy for Matt because you saw where he came from in the show. Like he had this really
But in the book, they
shitty.
don't have that. Yeah.
No, in the books in the books, most people, myself included, do not like Matt until book
Really?
3. Yes, if you
Really?
go back,
Okay.
if you go
Yeah.
back and look at books 1 and 2
He's annoying.
without the show, it's like
Yeah.
he's kind of a dick to Rand. Actually, he's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
channel like that. Like he's not a good friend.
You're
And
right.
then
Yeah.
book 3, yeah. So
I remember thinking that in the books. I remember thinking like, what the fuck is wrong with Matt? Like,
mm,
come on, stop being like, get along with the crew. Like, sort it
mm,
out. Like, stop being. Yeah, I remember thinking that. But you could see the soft heart in book
yeah,
3. Yeah,
yeah.
and it's him with this luck and what he's doing with all of it. It is really funny. Matt hasn't had any like girls come and like flirt or whatever with him, so I kind of
Uh,
wonder
not
when that's gonna happen.
yeah. You're in book 3. I don't. Has he had a girlfriend that you've seen or anything? No.
Nothing I've
I think the
seen.
closest you saw was like Lanfear come in and visit him. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, I know him with. I do wonder what that is gonna play out to be because there was a premonition from somebody. Was it Egwene in her dreaming, or was it Min, or was it Perrin with his wolf dreams? Somebody had a premonition that Matt was playing dice with
Balsamon.
Balsamon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious about, either is Balsamon giving him the luck, or is he going to eventually play with Balsamon? And
Right.
that's not going to be good.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah. Speaking of Balsamon, now this it gets a bit complicated, but have you figured out?
I was freaking confused.
Mm-hmm.
I think I still am.
Yes, the show just sort of did away with this. Balsamon is Ishamael.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard, but I was confused, and I was like, Lord.
In the books, the last chapters where everything happens. Yeah, that's the thing that Robert Jordan is very, like, he builds up. It's a slow, and then that's
and I'm always like baffled by the last few chapters. Like, what the hell just happened? Yeah.
yes. So the way it is in the books, so all of the Forsaken were bound in, like, they were in the seal, and Balsamon somehow was very, very close to the edge. So most of them that were sealed, they didn't feel time pass, whereas he's been aware of time passing for all of this time, which is why he went crazy. And so, like, that's where it gets a bit, like Moraine says, like, he might even thought he was the Dark One, but he's not the Dark One. He's just a Forsaken. And so, yeah. So in the show, they were just like, that's too confusing, right? Like, it's just weird. So it's Ishamael. Like, it's just, that's who it is. So if you go back and watch our interviews, there's a couple of times where I stopped. It was like, I said it and then went back. It was like, okay, no, Balsamon, she doesn't know yet. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That the ending of almost all the books, I do kind of sometimes get kind of confused as to what happened, but then you always kind of help me clarify it. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're more than that part. That's one of those ones that I like. When I read it now, it makes sense, but I do remember being confused. Like, that most of the things, I don't remember my impressions of them the first time I read, but that was one that I was just like, I don't understand what it's like Moraine's talking in a riddle and I don't get what she's saying.
Remind me, what happened at the end? Did Balsamon die?
Yes.
Ishamael dies. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then something else happened.
There were two Forsaken there. There was another Forsaken, Bilal, who was pretending. Yeah. So he was pretending to be some sort of High Lord in Tyr, and then Rand fought him, and Moraine bail-fired him out of existence, and then Ishamael came and fought him again. Yeah, that is actually, last video I said to you, one of the reasons why I thought that they had to combine books 2 and 3 is because it's not even just books 1, 2, and 3 end with Rand fighting Ishamael and beating Ishamael. And again. And you can't do that in like, after a while, if you did that every season finale, like, even not every, because it's only 3 books, but if you did that 3 seasons in a row, people would be like, well, don't you have any other ideas? Like, are you out of ideas for what to do?
Also, didn't Moraine say something like, if you think he's dead, you're, because it was like, this is just this is the body of a man. It's not the body of.
Right. Well, that's because Rand was thinking that he killed the Dark One. And she's like, that's just a man. Like, that's a human body. It's dying. That's Ishamael. So,
okay. Yes. Okay. Cool. That makes sense now. Also, sometimes when I listen to the audiobook, because if I'm doing, I can miss some things. So it's a little bit tougher, but like, for the most part, if I really feel like I'm missing something important, I will just try and like rewind it.
Yeah.
But not all the time I do. So I'm like, oh God, did I miss something important this time? I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's one of the harder things with it. I actually had to teach myself to, like, I don't know if you've ever had this experience when you're reading like a book on paper where you, like, your mind wanders, but you actually, you read and you get to the bottom of the page.
That's literally being dyslexic. Yes. You can read everything and not remember anything. Yeah.
It's not just like, it happens to me too. So it's, but when I'm doing it, like, I don't feel any anything wrong about going back and reading the page again, because that's what you do.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
somehow when I'm listening, I feel like, well, no, you don't go back. So it's something I've had to learn to teach myself. No, it's fine. It's the same as if I'm reading a book and I realize I didn't pay attention for a couple of pages. I go back. So I just go,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I had to like teach myself that that was okay.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
weird.
Sorry if I keep yawning. For some strange reason, I'm tired. Did not know that. It just hit me out of nowhere.
It's fine. I know you probably also you have a heater on you. It's probably making you
Yeah.
feel warm and cozy.
Totally.
So,
Totally.
yes. I'll just bring things up that happen in the plot. We have Swan sending these girls
Yes.
out.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think
Yes.
about that? Mm-hmm.
So Swan, did this happen in book 3?
Yeah.
That Elaine and Egwene also went through the accepted. Was that in book 3 or book
Yeah.
2?
Nynaeve did it book 1, and then Elena Gwaine book 3.
Yeah.
Nynaeve
So
book
then,
2. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. So that was something. So I remember seeing Egwene. She's going to be a green sister and might end up being in
Okay.
the Amelin seat.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting. But anyways, they went through the accepted because Swan pushed them through faster.
Yeah.
And she's made them their like confidant without bringing Elaine in. But Elaine, they brought her in anyways.
Yeah.
And then sent them to a farm for punishment, but they really sent them to go help Rand.
Yeah.
I think it's smart. I also feel like I'm scared about like what's gonna happen to the Amelin seat, like Swan. Like,
Oh,
she
really?
was,
To her? Okay.
well, yeah, because I feel like she doesn't feel like she has anybody she can trust.
Right. Okay. Yeah. If she's like trusting little girls, basically, then yeah, you're right. Yeah. Who else does she
You're
have?
desperate at this point. You're grabbing for straws. I mean, it was smart. It was strategic, but like, it's a very vulnerable place for her to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So I am curious how that's going to all play out. There was one of the Aes Sedais. She is now catching on that Maureen and Swan. She's like, I remember when they were friends before she.
Is she the one who was like kind of snippy with Elaine? Like you can't talk to her
Yeah,
like that? Like, yeah. Her name is
yeah,
Elida.
yes,
Her name is
yes,
Elida. Yeah.
yes. And
Yeah.
she's like, nobody else remembers, but I remember. And as soon as they became Aes Sedais, they stopped talking to each other. But I remember that they were friends before, and they were like thick as thieves.
Right.
But it was a part of their plan to like not let people know that they were still friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do wonder what's gonna happen. But then like when Egwene and Elaine and Nynaeve, then they go get captured again. I feel so sorry for Egwene. I'm like, this poor woman's gone through enough.
Yep.
Don't put her through anything more.
Yep.
So yeah, that was like God, but they, and then the Aiel. Well, the Aiel saved them at the end, but who came and saved them?
The Aiel saved them when they were caught. Yeah, caught by the pirates who were going to sell them to someone. Yeah.
That was cool. I thought that was like very perfect timing.
Yeah. I mean, it's Taveren. It's Robert Jordan. Like every other author must be so mad that they can't use that because he made this thing up. That's like, I need this to happen. How can I? Taveren. It just happens because Taveren, and everybody goes, "Oh yes, of course."
Right. And then now Loyal's getting tired of Taveren. I thought that was so funny in this book. He's just like, look, this is like, maybe I should go back to the setting. Yeah. You guys are stressing me out. This is a lot. I wanted the adventure, but maybe this is too much for me. Maybe I should just go get married and calm down.
Yes. Y'all hasty. So, yeah.
Poor Loyal.
Oh man. So yes, they get sent out. They get caught by like I in my brain I call them pirates. They're not. They're like selling them to Murdral. And then it's one of my favorite scenes actually, just because it's my girl Nynaeve, where they find them afterwards and one of the Aiel is so injured and that's how they find them in the first place. One of the Aiel is really, really injured. So they approach them and Nynaeve, just by looking at her wounds, gets angry enough to channel. And it's like, that's one of the things I love about Nynaeve, that she's like pain makes me angry. Like, it's just, she gets angry at a lot of things, but one of the things that makes her really angry is pain and suffering. And I think
Yeah,
it's a
it's true.
better response than my response, which is just like, oh, which is a completely useless response. Like, my response is just, that makes me sad.
Yeah, I thought that was really, and then they were like basically indebted to her after that, which was nice.
Yeah.
And then like they follow them and nobody even sees.
No,
It's
because
pretty
they're
good.
Aiel. The Aiel are just good at everything. That's just
Clearly that's what it seems like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And now they're like Rand's personal bodyguards.
Right. Okay. Yes. So jumping to the end. Yeah. That's I again, it's a Taveren thing, but I find it so fun how like they all scattered everywhere, and then they all end up in the exact same place at the end, and the
Yeah.
Aiel are there. And
Yeah.
if all of them hadn't been there, none of this would have worked. But like it all worked because they were all there. Yeah.
Wouldn't life be nice?
Oh, yeah.
If we had to, no, maybe
If there
not.
was like an actual pattern that was directing us, that would be very nice. Yeah. Although not necessarily, because the pattern doesn't anyway. In the books, the pattern doesn't always want good things for you. It just wants what it wants. And if you're in its way.
Yeah.
So okay, so then the girls they're on this journey, and Matt gets sent with a letter to give to the queen. And while he's there, do you remember what happens while he's there to give the letter to the queen?
I know he has to jump over.
Yeah.
Yeah. He finds out that somebody's trying to kill his daughter.
Yeah,
No,
Elaine.
not Elaine. They're trying to kill Elaine. That's why he goes to find them to protect them.
Yes.
But he can't tell the mom.
No, because do you remember why?
He was right there.
Yeah, the dude that wanted making the plan. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
it's like her boyfriend. Yeah.
And he's somehow in love with this messed up guy. Very not good. Tom needs to come back around, sweep her off her feet again.
Yeah, that would be good, right? Yeah, that's right. You know that they were lovers. That's right. Okay, you do. It's like what? For a second, I thought you just pulled that out of the air. I was real impressed. So, yes, but yeah,
and then but I think even Matt said that to Tom. He's like, "Why don't you just?" And he's like, It's I care, but like I've moved on. Like life has moved on. Yeah. Very adult like of Tom.
Yes. Like in the books, he's like what, in his 60s or something like that. So yeah, I would imagine. Yeah. He's got like white hair and thick mustache. In the books, he's very old. In the show, he's like
quite young.
He's like a zaddy in the show. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for him to come back into the show because he wasn't in the last season.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how they weave him back in. They better weave him back in because that would piss me off.
Yeah, you seem to really like it. Like you get attacked every book you've brought him up. So yeah.
About him. Maybe I do like a zaddy. I don't know. No, but it's like I don't know. He sacrificed himself, whereas you would think he was a selfish person, but he put himself in the line of fire to the greater good. He also had charisma and like
he's got a lot of charisma. Yeah,
he has edge. Like I like him.
Yeah. Well, I think there is because everybody else in the story kind of got swept up in it. He's somebody who voluntarily was like, "Oh, these kids look like they need help." Like, yeah, which is sweet.
You would
it's
think
really,
he would
really
be
sweet.
something that would throw you under a bus. Like you would think that, and he did the exact opposite.
Exactly.
And so I like Loyal too. Loyal is just like a gentle giant.
If you had said to me at any point that you didn't like Loyal, I would have. We need to have a conversation about who you are as a human.
Are you a psychopath? Like,
yes.
Are you? No, you have a problem.
Yes. So okay, we talked a bit about Perrin. We talked about Fail. Oh, okay. Well, Rand. Let's talk about Rand. He's not in this book that much, but he is there. He's going through some shit in this book.
Poor baby.
I know you love him.
Poor honey bun sugar plum. Yeah, it's like not really like he is going through. I'm trying to remember like what are the main things that happen to him. Like I know he like disappears and runs off. I'm like, come on, Rand.
Yeah,
make everybody's life a little bit more difficult. And then like he's having these like tough dreams all the time.
Yeah,
that Egwene keeps bombarding. And then in the end, he comes back and they're like, he's like a king to them because he got the
The
sword.
sword, yeah.
What is it called again?
It's called Kalendor.
Yeah, Kalendor.
Yeah.
So you got that. At first, I was a little bit like, "Don't! Why is Balsamon forcing you to pick this sword
Mhm.
up? Like, stop! Like,
Yeah,
don't pick
yeah.
it up." It seemed a little bit sketchy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then Maureen said, "Go for it," and so he
Yeah.
went for it. And I was like, "Okay, maybe it's not bad." But yeah, I mean, oh, he has that cut that keeps coming back.
Yeah, that's from the fight, the end of book 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I do wonder how I do when I think about Rand, I'm like, how is this gonna play out?
Mhm.
In the sense, is he gonna go crazy? When does he's already kind of, but like,
Yeah.
how is it really gonna play out? And are they gonna be able to save him, or is it just like two tough titties? Like, is he gonna be somebody that like saves the world and then has to die because
Mm,
he's gone crazy? Or is there something like, are they going to find a cure for the male side of the power
right.
so that he doesn't go crazy? I don't know. Is
Mhm.
Lewis, whatever his last name, and his
Lose, not Lewis. Lose. Lews. Lose.
oh
Lewis
Lou
makes me Lewis is just like a friend from high school. It's,
oh
my buddy Lewis.
could have you could I would have never known that was
I
his real
know.
name.
Just
Lou and him,
lose.
are they gonna like merge into one person?
Mm,
It's gonna
okay.
like something like that's gonna happen. And then he did say something that kind of like broke my heart a little bit, but like I feel like it needs to happen.
Okay.
When he said that he looks at Egwene like a sister now.
Hmm.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe because Egwene needs to go find her other love. But at the
Right.
same
Okay.
time, that's her first love.
Yeah, it's the first. And you're feeling that first love, I think, way more than I ever did because the show, it actually feels like a relationship. In the
Oh
book,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, in the
yeah.
books, I was like, every time they would bring it up, I'd go, oh, yeah, I forgot.
Okay. Well,
I
I could see
totally,
that. I could
yeah,
definitely see that.
but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So do you think, like you're saying, Egwene has to go find her love? Do you have any like predictions or
You know
thoughts
what?
of?
Min,
Mhm.
that love story with Min and Ran seems to be doing
Ah,
something in book
okay.
4, but that's whatever. I'm just curious about what's going on there. But Rand, I mean, there's no alternative so far love interest of Elaine's.
Right. Okay.
Whereas
So
Rand,
have you think he been? Oh wait, I can't remember what you've seen. Have you seen him with anybody? Like you've seen him with Egwene.
Egwene, Elaine,
Okay.
Min,
Min. Okay.
Lanfear.
And Lanfear. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is there anybody
Okay.
else? There was somebody else, but I remember thinking, God, not another one.
Hmm.
I can't remember now though.
Okay.
But I don't know who Rand's gonna end up with. He might just go crazy and end up with nobody.
He could. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
How about Egwene? Who do you think? Like, do you have any thoughts? Do you think Egwene's gonna find someone?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think
Okay.
Egwene's going to have multiple someones potentially.
Oh.
Or
Very
maybe
nice.
not. Maybe not. No. Or she's gonna become the Amelin seat.
Right. Right.
And then that's just gonna be her main focus.
Mm.
I don't know actually.
Okay.
But the brother of Elaine seems to be both her
Oh,
brothers.
right, right, right. Both, yeah. Galad is like the super handsome one, and then
And then
Gowan is the other. Yeah.
Gowan. And
Yeah.
Gowan likes her.
Right.
And
Right.
Gowan would never say he likes her, but I like Gowan, so I hope he eventually says it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I see
And
what you're doing there.
then it does something from there.
One of the things book 3 does is introduce some new monsters. So there's the Dark Hounds and the Gray Men.
Oh yeah, the Gray Men.
Yeah.
And the Dark Hounds. Oh yeah, the Dark Hounds. Yes, I
Mm,
remember that with like
yeah.
Perrin and Hopper like saying these are some dark. It's unfortunate. Like that
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
Hopper's back, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hopper's like he's fully there. Like
Yeah.
he's chilling in
So
his alternative world.
yes. So like in the show he died, but in the books you've seen him come back. So I think he's gonna come back in the show.
On the show. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And then Yeah, the gray men seem pretty scary.
Gray Men freak me out a bit. It's one of the things I love the way Robert Jordan writes it too. Like because he'll just be describing it, and like even listening, like I'll be like he'll be and then the room, and then four men coming across the room holding knives and a cup of beer. Like it's just so plain, and then you have
Yeah.
to go back and you're like, wait, why are there four men with knives? Like
Yeah.
it's really cool the way that works to me. I think the Gray Men are a really cool invention. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was like, oh God, not another thing though to stress
Mm.
about, to worry
Yeah.
about.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that wisdom lady.
Nynaeve, like my
No,
girl.
the other one that they met
Oh,
in
Mother Gwenna, or Mother Grub, or is it Mother Gwenna? I think it's
Gwenna.
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 Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure it's Gwenna. Like,
I
that
think
sounds
Mother Grub is book one. So yeah, I think you might be right. Mother Gwenna is book three. Yeah.
yeah. Mother Gwenna thought she had some feist to her,
Hmm.
and yeah, she takes them in, which is cool. I mean, I really enjoyed the book. I just am having
Oh,
a
I
hard
know.
time.
It's not quite as straightforward a plot as book two. They spread out and they come back together. They spread out and they come back together like over a couple of times. Let's see. So we know that the girls were sent out to catch the Black Aja, and then the Black Aja lure them to Tyr, and we see like
Yes.
Leanne. One of my in the books. Do you remember when they get when the Black Aja come in to catch them? Nynaeve fights. She punches one of them. Do you remember who she punches? No, because in the books the Black Aja are completely interchangeable. She punches Leandrin. She punches Leandrin, which I am so excited because I think the books are like that's one of the reasons that they've played up their friendship is because
Oh.
hopefully like there'll be some more antagonism between them because yeah, she fully punched Leandrin in the face in the book. Which
How are they gonna get rid of the Black Aja? That's what I'm scareful of.
mm,
Fearful of.
mm,
That's not cool.
yeah,
But
yeah, it's
yeah.
a whole thing. I have a question for you. And I don't know how many days or like weeks ago it was that you finished this, but there is discussion in the fandom about what happened in the dungeon of the tower. So the girls are taken to the dungeon of the tower, and through Egwene and her dream, they're able to sort of like disable some of the Black Aja, and
Yeah. I
they're
remember that.
still they're still locked in the tower because there's one Black Aja outside. And she's sort of half in the dream, half out. And Egwene goes to go back to sleep to try and deal with it when
Yes.
Matt opens the door. Like Matt just shows up and opens the door, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
And do you remember how the girls reacted to Matt's arrival?
Yeah, I remember it was kind of funny. It was kind of like they were shocked to see him,
Yeah.
and then they were like, "Yeah, no, actually, that kind of annoyed me. I remember now. Like, why
Okay.
are they like they barely thanked him. They
They didn't
barely were
thank you.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember being a bit annoyed by that. I was like, what's wrong with these girls? Like, they basically saved your life. He basically saved you, and he's gone through all this hell
Mm.
and like to get to you without anybody asking him to do it. I remember thinking
Hmm.
that. I remember thinking, what's wrong with these? Like, I didn't like that. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. My opinion on that, like, and I wanted to ask you because I want to know your thoughts, and I'm glad to hear your thoughts. I understand their reaction actually because they
Okay.
don't know what he's been through, and now I think they should have thanked him. But I
Yeah.
understand how in the moment their reaction was, "What the hell? Like, what
Well,
are
yeah,
you
I
doing
understood
here?"
that.
Like,
I understood initially, and
mm,
then I was like, okay, cool. Like you're shocked, but
mm,
now are you gonna thank him? Like now you're gonna be like,
yeah,
thank
yeah,
God you saved us. Like at what point are you gonna be thankful? But then it kind of persists for a
yeah.
while later
They
on,
could
and that's not my
they actually tie him up in air at one point because he's trying to like
yeah,
tell them to do something, and they tie him up in air, which is pretty shitty to do, to be fair.
yeah,
But I do agree they absolutely should have thanked him because it is
yeah,
it's pretty shitty that he went through all of that and got like
yeah. No,
yeah,
I agree. Like I kind of get, like I understood that they were shocked, and then I understood, but I was like, at what point are they gonna be
yeah.
thanking
At a
him?
certain point they have to, yeah.
And then it's
Yeah.
like, and like they said, like they tie him up in the air. I'm like, okay, like chill
This is
out,
not how you
everybody.
react.
Like,
Yeah. And that's the discussion of like people are big mad at them for that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I get it. I can also just put myself in the girl's mind of just like, what the? Like, what are you doing here? Like, why? You know, that's okay. There's another, yeah, a very famous scene from book 2 of him, Matt, with the quarterstaff fighting both Gawain and Galad. Did you like that? Like, was
and he
it
was
like,
sick, right? He
yeah,
was almost like,
collapsing?
yeah.
Like he had to hold on it to hold himself up.
Oh, I
Yeah,
loved it. I was like
yeah,
living for it. I was like, yes, go Matt.
yeah, yeah. Okay, it's a
Yeah.
fan favorite scene. I don't know how, if or how they'll do it in the show. Like, I have no idea, but
Yeah.
hmm.
No, I loved it. I thought that was badass of Matt. Um, and didn't he like do it for money? I'm
Yeah.
like, this guy is like, he will risk it all. This
Hmm.
is a guy, it's like you want him on your team, but you don't because you're also a little flaky and a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
snappy, and I'm not sure, but I want you on my team because you are fearless. You
yeah.
will get it where you can.
Yes.
He is
Absolutely.
down. Like,
Yeah,
so I was
yeah.
like, I don't know. But
Yeah.
no, I did like that scene a lot.
This is not an important thing, but it's another scene that I don't know that I liked it the first time, but I like it more and more as I, reread the story. There's a long passage in book 3 of Perrin doing blacksmithing. Like he's just
Oh,
making a
yeah.
hammer. Did
He
you
was
like
really
that
good
scene?
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
like, yeah, and people were impressed that he was like, you're basically not an apprentice.
Hmm.
You're very good. I did
Yeah.
like that. I did like his showing of his talent because you knew he was a blacksmith, but you never knew he was good at it.
He was
Like,
good. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that's good. Perry, you could just tell he's like a real stand-up guy who's just puts
Mm,
himself down more than he probably should, and he's better than he
yeah.
think he is. And yeah, and I think a lot of people could probably relate to that. Like he doesn't give himself credit where credit's due.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I like it. I do like that. I
You
did
did
like
like
to
that,
see,
yeah. I wonder
yeah.
about that because I feel like some people might get like they might wonder why that scene is there. I'm not a writer, so I don't know why that scene is there, but I also just like it. Like it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, I like seeing Perrin be good at something and feel confident. Like it just makes me,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like he
yeah.
second guesses himself, he's
Hmm.
overthinking things, but like look at him, he's clearly very capable and he doesn't even give
Yeah,
himself the credit. Yeah, I did
yeah.
like that.
Oh, speak. Hey, we probably should go into the fight at the end, but there's a big like Perrin goes into the dream world to save Fail, and at the end, like because all through up until this point, he hasn't been using her chosen name. He's been using her like the Zareen, which is the. But then he after that moment, he calls her Fail. Like,
Yeah, that was
yeah. What do you
sweet.
think about? Yeah,
He went and risked his whole like mental health. He's
yeah.
like, you could be fully
Sucked
wolf
into
after
the,
this.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like mentally, like apparently.
Mhm.
And even Hopper's trying to send him out, but then Hopper's like, okay, but I can't get you out on your own free will. We're just gonna have to do this fast.
Yeah,
Like, let's
yeah,
get it done. So then Hopper goes, I did like that. I did
yeah.
like that. I'm having a blank. Did he get her out? He got her out,
He
right?
got
Of
her out.
course.
Yeah, he got her out. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was fine at the end, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly. Like he didn't go crazy.
No,
Like he
no,
was
he
trying.
was fine. Yeah, he was fine.
No, I did like that. I did like the fact that he even has that power. I think it's kind of cool.
Mhm.
I mean, I like the fact that Egwene has that power too. Like Egwene is like a dream walker or
Yes, I
whatever.
was gonna ask you about that. Yeah, yeah,
I like
yeah.
it. I think it's super cool that she has that. I think it adds something to her
Mhm.
character. Like,
Yeah.
because like they say, like, for instance, like Elaine's gonna be the queen.
Mhm.
Nynaeve is supposed to be the strongest in 1,000 years, but like
Yeah.
can't channel it. But when she does channel it, she's like the strongest ever.
Mhm.
Um, and then Egwene was just like, yeah, I'm strong, but like, there was nothing literally special.
Special about her, yeah. But now,
Um,
yeah, so that's her
now
thing,
it's
yeah.
that's her thing, and I like it because like every other character has their thing, and Egwene
Mhm.
kind of felt somewhat not bland. Like they said she was powerful, but not as
Mhm.
powerful as Nynaeve.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was always that. And then Elaine's gonna be a queen. She's powerful, but she's also gonna be a queen.
Yeah.
But now Egwene has that like thing that makes her
Mhm.
like unique.
Yeah,
So I like that, and like a
yeah.
very valuable contribution.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
like
do.
that's another thing. Or I will quibble with people about this because about the whole Matt rescuing them because everybody will frame it like that, like Matt rescued them. Matt saved their lives. I always would go, okay, Matt opened the door.
Yeah,
Egwene had
Nynaeve.
actually done most of the
Yeah,
work. Like
yeah.
Egwene had done most of the work. And
Yeah,
so
she had
it's
to go
not that
back to do like one last thing or something like
she
that.
was about to, yeah, do one last thing when he opened the
Yeah,
door. And we don't like maybe she wouldn't have been able to do it, like because I don't know because it didn't happen
Yeah.
because he opened the door. But yeah, so yeah, she has some pretty cool powers, and
Yeah.
yeah, Perrin has very similar powers. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
doesn't Lanfear have that too?
yes.
Lanfear has something
Lanfear is
about
like a yeah, she's like the master, like well, not the master, but she thinks of it like the dream world, which is called Teleran Riyadh. She thinks of it as
okay,
her, like
world.
it's her world. She's got an ego, as they do.
We barely heard her this book, whereas
Mm,
in this series, in season 2, she was a very big part. And like
yeah,
she was a big part of book 2, but like she kind of disappeared a bit. And then I
yeah.
expected her to come back around in book 3
Hmm.
as much as she did in the series.
Right.
I guess to be
To be,
seen
yeah,
more. To be
yeah.
continued.
To be continued, and characters come and go. Like there are, as you know, 14 books. There are characters like Rand is barely present. Like his presence is there, but as a character, like he's barely in book 3. All of the
Yeah.
characters have books that they're just like, oh,
Yeah.
they're not relevant to the story so much, so they're not in
Because
it.
even Moraine was barely in book 2.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, she's the other character I was going to ask you. Like, what did you think about her? Like, she's just basically chasing Rand this season, but we get to know her
yeah.
a bit more. Like, any thoughts
Well,
on?
you know what? You had told me to remember her last name. I didn't.
Mm,
Nothing
no,
sparked my memory in book 3 about her family coming like into play.
yeah,
I don't know. Did I miss something?
nope, not yet, not
Okay.
yet. So it's just at a certain point you'll start to notice that certain characters have the last name Damodred, and
Okay.
like
Okay.
her last name is Damodred, and in the show there's a lot of talk about how her family is a fallen house.
Okay.
That's a thing that you know, and it is something that you will start to see.
Wait a minute.
Mm.
No, not it's a
Who?
fallen house, not a fallen kingdom.
Well, oh, you're talking about Land's Kingdom?
And yeah,
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 yeah. No, that's a different thing. And
yeah.
his last name is Mandragoran, which
Okay.
is just. I feel like his last name is just the coolest last name,
Okay.
Mandragoran. Yes,
That is random, but okay.
yes, it is. So I can't believe the information that is in my brain. Like, what do? Maybe this is why I don't understand your job because my brain is just full of
Full of too many other
weird.
things.
I know the names of way too many Wheel of Time horses. Like it's
Oh,
like Mandarb.
huh?
Mandarb. That was the first name that Faio was gonna call herself was Mandarb, and Perrin was like, that's Land's horse's name. Like you can't call yourself Mandarb.
That's terrible.
So yeah.
I can kind of see now how you can get to 14 books in this show though.
Mm, yeah.
It's like a lot happened, but like they barely moved the needle.
Mm,
Like in this book, like a lot happened,
yeah.
but like Rand just got a sword.
Yeah.
Like,
But he got like
like
a sword that proves to the world who he
that
is.
he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Sure.
Do you get the okay? Did you catch the reference to that? Okay, do you know where the sword was? Do you remember the name of the building that the sword was in? It's called the
No.
Stone of Tyr. So it was a sword in the stone. He pulled the sword from the stone and
No.
and then the Aiel, as you brought it up, they are like they have some sort of tattoo on their arm.
Yeah.
It has
Yeah.
they're the people of the dragon.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
But was it Moraine or somebody tried to say to him at the end of book 3 that like if you don't start, if you need to get out of here because people might even I yield might switch on you or something like that.
Mm.
Was it that they said? There was something hinted towards like there's something he needs to do or something. Am I remembering?
You probably not. I'm trying to remember the end. I know, like Moraine's thing is like you need to do things. You can't just
Yeah, yeah,
yeah
that's what. Yeah,
yeah like
but he doesn't want to. Oh, that woman, that lady who tried. No, that's a book 4. Never mind. I'm getting confused.
I'm curious. What lady?
She came into Rand's tent to try and
Oh Barrelane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, excuse me. That's the other woman. I remember thinking that, oh, not another woman who wants Rand. I'm getting annoyed at this point. Leave my boo alone. Look, Daddy calling
trying to
me.
sleep in
Hold
this.
on.
Okay.
Daddy's calling. Hold on. Daddy, I'm on a phone call with Jenny right now.
Yeah, no, Barrelane is she's another lady. But you think he's a good looking guy, so you know.
Whatever. Not every woman.
Not every woman.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've already started book 4. Obviously, you've met Barrelane. Well, I think she's in book 3 as well, but she's more active in book 4. Any thoughts on where things are gonna go? Like, any guesses?
No.
No?
I have no. None. Not this early on in book 4. No.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna like general then predictions about characters. Like,
I do think
okay.
Perrin is going to become bigger character. Perrin and Matt. They're already big, but I feel like there's something about the 3 of them that they keep referencing. But there's gonna be, I feel like there's gonna be something that you need the 3 of them to do. It's not gonna just be the dragon.
Okay.
I have something makes me think like you're gonna need the 3 of them to do something.
Yeah.
Just to keep talking about like they are the 3 of them together in Taveren or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a prediction. I do think Elaine she's gonna be the queen at some point. And I do think she's gonna have to marry because they do reproduce. They get married and they have children.
Yeah, the queen doesn't have to, like the world in the just this isn't really a spoiler or anything, but in the Andor, the queen doesn't have to be married, but she can if she wants to, but she doesn't have to be. Like it's not like they don't have like the same morals as like say if the Queen of England had a baby out of wedlock, everybody would be like, "What?" But you know, it's always a queen, and but anyway, that's a whole But okay, so she could get married. Do you have any like shipping predictions are always fun? Like who do you think? Okay? You said shipping is like who you think relationships like are you?
Oh,
yeah. So Egwene, you said one of the brothers, right?
Yeah, one of the brothers. I think Rand and her are gonna have some type of breakup, and then she's gonna end up with one of the brothers. And then, do you think Egwene? I think Elaine is going to probably end up with Rand in some way, unless there's a character I haven't met yet that's gonna pop up.
Okay.
It's just possible because everybody's fawning over Rand, and Rand might not end up with anybody.
yeah, for sure.
And then Tom and I still have some maybe inkling about Tom and Maureen. Maybe there's nothing to deter me from that yet, but nothing to make
encourage it. Yeah.
If not Maureen, then definitely the queen.
Morghese is her name. Morghese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Land and Nynaeve, something's gonna happen with them. I'm curious about how that's gonna. There's no way nothing happens between those 2 characters again. There's just no way. Absolutely no way. Matt's gonna have a love interest at some point. Don't know when, don't know with who, don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna be maybe somebody that's rude to him.
Somebody who's rude to him, okay.
Yeah, and then he kind of likes it.
Okay. You think he's one of those boys? All right.
He must be. Look at him. See how feisty and playful he is. He's gonna need somebody who's worse than him to put him in his place.
Right.
I can't imagine him falling for like the sweet, innocent type character.
Okay, yeah, I can say that.
Fight back, you know.
Yeah.
But I think I could be wrong, but or maybe somebody really, really angelic might catch him off guard.
Yeah, that could happen too. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. All right. So Rand has the sword out of the stone. You've already started book 4, so I can't. I'm just like, what do you think his next step is? That you're probably already at the point where that is also what Moraine is wondering. Like, what is his next step?
What is his next step? I don't know because I just don't know. Nobody's attacking him right now. I just don't know.
Okay. Okay. I get book 4. I go back and forth between book 4 and book 5 being my favorite, but book 4 is definitely good.
Okay.
It's definitely
Okay.
good. So I'm excited to see what you think. I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine, but yeah, it's
No,
a
it's
lot
just the only thing
happens.
I'm finding difficult with book 4 is the
The change
adjustment.
in, yeah.
Yeah, because
That
I
is all,
really do like Rain's
yeah,
narration. I really, really do.
yeah.
Do you think she'll put out only book 4, or will she put out book 4 and 5?
I don't know. I don't know how long it takes to make them. I don't you know, I don't know what
It's
the
sad.
process is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
Yeah, I don't have any predictions this time
Hmm.
around. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I've kind of come to like a unknown territory because
yeah.
there's new Dark Lords in the mix that I don't
Mhm.
really know what's going on
Yeah.
with them. Like, I mean, Lanfear is gonna come around and something's gonna happen with them.
With
Like, I don't
laughter.
really know
Okay.
what it is. Like, I don't really know what's gonna happen with Lanfear and Rand.
Hmm.
Like, there's gonna be some sort of a love interest situation there.
Hmm.
And Lanfear, like, she has a good side. Like, she only went bad to try and get her love.
Right. Right.
And I think that's still her main priority, to get her
To
love.
get, yeah. She's already said things like, you and me could be it, right? Like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't want to
So,
like break the wheel of time because she wants to,
yeah.
she wants
Yeah.
her Anne.
Yeah. She wants to rule it with Rand. That's her goal. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So
Yeah. All
I
right.
hope the Black Aja don't succeed with turning Rand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's they need 12. They need 12.
They need 13. They need 13.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13
Mhm.
Aes Sedai, and there's 13 Black Aja who left the tower.
Yeah.
Roman.
But two of them were caught.
Oh yes, good.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
we like those numbers.
Yes. So we've reduced the. Do you think they're the only ones? Do you think they're the only
No,
the 13
of course
that left? Yeah. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That was
Some hint-
Elaine's. That was Elaine's guess as well. Like it was too neat. Like they were too evenly divided between all the Ajas. So that means that they probably they could pick and choose.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
That's We'll see.
Gosh. So do you know how many chapters you're into book 4 so far?
I think I'm on chapter 3.
Okay, so you're quite early in. Yeah.
Yeah. This is seems like a much bigger book too.
I think it's one of the longest. I'm not sure if it is the longest, but it's pretty long. But yeah, anyway, I hope you continue to enjoy the story and
yes, I am.
keep me posted with your thoughts.
Yeah, it's a very comforting book. I listen to it like every morning, every night while I'm showering, or like if I'm cooking or something, cleaning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do enjoy it.
Good. And they're nice and chunky. So yeah, they're thick boys. So yeah.
All right,
I love
Jenny.
you so much.
Love you too.
All right, there you have it. There's my conversation with baby sister who I love so much. Anyway, yeah, she's, as I said, she's already started The Shadow Rising. And I started listening to it again today just because I want to kind of read along with her, and she is having a bit of trouble adjusting to the new narrator, or the original narrators. They're new to her, which I do understand. Like, she's gotten very, very used to Rosamund's narration. Michael and Kate are great, but it's an adjustment for her. And it hit me, like when I started listening to it again today, it's like, oh, I bet you one of the things that's making that really hard for her is that they're using American accents and Rosamund is British. And British has like a fantasy feel to us for reasons of the media, and so like suddenly hearing it in American, I think that would be like an adjustment. But I think she'll be able to make the switch. I mean, she's obviously into the story, so she's gotten there. But yeah. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this conversation. Let me know in the comments below. And if you like my content and you want to support me, I do have a Patreon that is also linked in the description below. To my patrons, as always, I am so grateful for you. You literally keep the lights on. Like, that is not an exaggeration. I would not be able to do this without you. So thank you so much for your continued support. And with that, I am gonna end this here. So please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.